From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
All right, it's currently noon o'clock here in the Tennessee Valley. I'm Fred Gossage. Along with the entire weather team today, we have all of us in here and staffed with a severe weather threat in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with an update on the severe weather situation that will be developing as we go into the afternoon. Now, there are no warnings in effect for any part of our viewing area. However, we do have tornado watches up to the west, and we have gotten word that here really soon there will be a new tornado watch for North Alabama as well. Until 6 p.m., there's a PDS, particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch for all of northeast Mississippi in our viewing area that includes Tishomingo County, Mississippi, runs until 6 o'clock. Particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch. Those are issued just a couple times a year in our area on even the most active years. Sometimes we go an entire year without having one of those. This is the second one here we've had within 24 hours. The watch that's issued soon across North Alabama will be a PDS watch, and the watch that's issued across Tennessee this afternoon might be a PDS watch. Now, the PDS watch means that there's a heightened threat of a few long track, strong to violent tornadoes this afternoon. Here soon we will be getting one of those watches across North Alabama, and we do expect tornado watches to expand up into Tennessee a little later into the afternoon. Now, we'll go over to meteorologist Taylor Plott in the Weather Center, who's been watching the radar very carefully this afternoon. No severe storms close by immediately, but things are starting to destabilize across the area, and storms are starting to get more active back upstream into Mississippi.
Yeah, that's right, Fred. And again, we've been watching things kind of progress throughout the entirety of the morning, and this is where we're still watching everything back in Mississippi, and now we'll start to see things either pop off ahead of the line or starting to see that line kind of creep on in. So this is a view of the radar network, and as you see that warning that was for the Oxford, Mississippi area that has since been canceled or allowed to expire, but you're still seeing a good amount of storm activity down here to the south. So the thing that we're going to keep a close eye on, I'll put pause on this and go out to the latest update here, are going to be these cells that are way out ahead of that main line. And the line itself is really not a true line. It's kind of broken. It's got individual supercells within it. But it's going to be these discrete cells that are ahead of that we'll have to watch very closely for any chance at a tornado potential later on down the road. Now, they're still organizing, so it's not like they're going to imminently start producing tornadoes, but they could start getting into that territory once we get to maybe 12:31 or 2 o'clock this afternoon. So it'll take some time to get things organized. Down south of that towards Jackson, you still have a lot of this activity that's near Yazoo City. That will continue to move off to the northeast, and then even below it, there's still tornado warnings and cells that we'll have to watch for these. So I'll back things out, kind of show you what areas we're going to be watching for our immediate area, and we kind of clear that out and move it. So just give you an idea of, if you look at the radar, what our storms are going to be. We're going to be watching this area right in here in the near term, because all this will start to move up into our general area. Everything down here will start to move probably more into central Alabama, but that could eventually clip parts of our southern viewing area a little bit later on today. But this is our immediate concern, is going to be this circle right here, Tupelo, Columbus, north of Jackson. That's going to be moving into our area, and then we'll have to still watch the stuff further south of Jackson, but that has a better chance of moving into central Alabama, talking about Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, as opposed to our viewing area. We'll take a look at some of the cameras around the area. We'll start off with the UNA cam over here at Florence, or in Florence. Temperature at 66, dew point at 63. The wind a little bit out of the east right now, but for the majority of the day, you'll see the winds generally out of the south-southeast or maybe southeast, and that's going to usher in that warmer air mass in place. So we're already starting to destabilize. You're starting to get some of those breaks in the clouds. We'll go down to the, let's go to, what was I going to do? Let's do the Hatton area. I believe Hatton was starting to get a few breaks in the clouds as well. You start to see that, you're starting to have a little more light there on the buildings and kind of the overall aspect of things. So the sun's starting to peek out across the area. Over in Mississippi, we'll take a look at Iuka real quick over there in Tishomingo County. Things still relatively cloudy over there, but you got storms that are creeping in from the west Notice that temperature, 70 with a dew point of 65. So that warm, moist, juicy air mass will start to move back into our neck of the woods as we get later on in the afternoon and evening. So let me back things out. Let me hit that, and we'll go take a look at the satellite real quick. There's your breaks in the clouds. I'll keep the warnings on so you actually can see where the storm activity is right now. And you still got a lot of breaks in the clouds coming up here from parts of western Alabama into northwestern Alabama. A lot of sun here in northeastern Alabama from around Fort Payne and Scottsboro down towards the Talladega area, eventually down towards Montgomery. So anytime we'll start to see these breaks in the clouds, you'll start to warm up a little bit, and that will start to increase your instability across the area. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on, is how the breaks in the clouds go.
And they're starting to thin out a little bit in southern middle Tennessee.
They're starting to thin out in southern middle Tennessee. I'll get a little closer here. And yeah, in the Florence area, that UNA cam, we'll kind of go back and take a look at that UNA cam because that's right on top of it. And you can see it starting to light up a little bit. Now, the thing is that you're getting a lot of anvil blow off from the storms that are off to our west. So you're still getting somewhat overcast, but you're still getting some peaks of sun in there. And so that's going to allow for, again, that destabilization to occur. So I'll pop back on the radar here with the radar network. And again, we're still watching those bands that are down here south of Tupelo. You see those skip markers, those arrows starting to pop on those storms. That's telling the radar algorithm that kind of depicts all this stuff that, hey, that storm's starting to get a little intense. So we'll have to start watching things closely. Again, if you're in northwestern Alabama, all those storms that are south of Tupelo will eventually move into your area. And I'll do a quick time of arrival, then I'll toss it back over to Fred Gossage for any more information that he has. So if you kind of take this moving in that general direction, maybe the corner of Lauderdale and Tishomingo County, that northern point of Alabama there, give it a couple of hours and they'll start to see those get closer. So that's all I got for the radar aspect of things. Again, we're still well away from the main window of opportunity, if you will, from getting into our neck of the woods, but things are still active off to our west, and it still looks like it's going along with our forecast thinking as we go into the afternoon, Fred.
Right. Yeah, we're opening up the window to pay attention now. That's why the timeline says from noon to 10 p.m. But it's probably going to be another hour or so, or maybe another hour and a half between that 1 and 2 o'clock window before some of those storms in northeast Mississippi really have a chance to really give a higher threat into parts of our viewing area, unless something develops further up that band to the north ahead of it. And I was starting to see a few cells trying to do that. We'll have to watch those. And that's another reason why, even though it may be another hour or two, we are opening up the pay attention window now. Now, that we've had a lot of questions about what time is it going to hit my town, in my town, in my town. Unfortunately, and I wish I could do this, but unfortunately, this is not one of those days where we can do those type of timelines. It's not. It never works this way on a supercell day like this. This is, and we've said this all week repeatedly every single day this week, this is not the type of day where it's one little line that comes through, it's gone in 2 hours, and you're done for the rest of the day. This will be those individual cellular type storms where not everybody even gets one of them, but they're off by themselves. They're scattered around, kind of like the summer type thunderstorms, but they're intense and they're rotating. So I can't give a specific time of arrival for a specific town until one of those is prompting a tornado warning for you, and I'm telling you to take shelter over the next few minutes. What I can do is I can give the entire area a general window to pay attention between now and 10 p.m. And then as the storms start to become severe and get warnings, then for specific counties and specific towns, then I can say here over the next 30 minutes, over the next hour, yes, this particular storm is coming for you specifically. That's how the timeline is going to work today. There's still this threat of these long track violent tornadoes over all of North Alabama, down into central Alabama, northeast Mississippi, and it does edge up as far north as southern middle Tennessee. This is not the SPC's level 5 out of 5 high risk, because there's a threat of those type of tornadoes also in the level 4 risk as well. So instead of you focusing on if you're in a level 3, a level 4, level 5, I'm showing you where the greater threat of a few long track violent tornadoes will be, because they can happen in the level 3, the level 4, and the 5. That's why we're doing things just a little more differently here, but there's still a significant risk north of that purple area, all the way north through the rest of our viewing area in southern Middle Tennessee. It goes all the way up to around the Murfreesboro area. Storm Prediction Center did expand their level 4 out of 5 risk north, all just shy of the Nashville area. So good agreement here. And then it's a combination of their level 4 and their level 5 in the purple area, where there is that potential for the violent long track tornadoes, in addition to golf balls high as hail and the potential for 65 to 80 mile per hour straight line winds. Again, the general window to pay attention is now to 10 p.m. because there may be multiple rounds of these storms where you get a tornado warning, the storm goes by, 30, 45 minutes later, you might have another one coming through with another tornado warning. For your particular town, there may be multiple times I have to ask you to go to your safe place this afternoon and this evening. And I know that's horrifying for people. I know that that's troublesome if you have small kids and pets and you need to wrangle them to the shelter, but it's the course of least regret. You have to do the right thing on a day like today, because there's the potential for some really serious problems where you get these violent tornadoes to where it's not just mobile homes that are a serious danger. You have to do the right thing and shelter correctly and quickly in a warning, even in the site-built structures. You have to take it seriously today. This is a high-risk situation. Here in the Tennessee Valley, we have high-risk days once or twice a year, and there are several years that we don't even get one for the entire year. This is a high-risk situation with violent, long-track tornadoes possible. The EF3, the EF4, maybe the EF5 type of tornadoes that get down on the ground, stay down on the ground for 20, 30, 40 miles or longer, and there may be more than one tornado that's that type of caliber somewhere in that general higher risk zone that we're talking about. It's not automatically guaranteed for your specific town, because the way those risk areas work, they kind of act like a fence at the pasture, where we fence in an area, we know there's cattle in there, but I can't tell you exactly where a cow is going to be at 2 o'clock this afternoon, but I can tell you somewhere in that pasture those cows are going to be there. That's how those risk areas work. That's how the tornadoes within those risk areas work. In addition to the tornado threat, there's a significant threat of damaging straight line winds of 65, 70, maybe 80 miles an hour, strong enough to knock down trees and power lines. Hail to the size of golf balls possible this afternoon. That's an elevated threat. And then a significant threat of some localized flash flooding, where this rain starts to add up from training thunderstorms. There could be localized small-scale areas that get 4 to 6 inches of rain, isolated heavier totals. And I think before all said and done, everybody in the area has a minimum of 1 to 3 inches of rain with some localized street flooding. There's a good bit of rain coming with multiple rounds of storms. Here's the main event time window for this tornado outbreak situation we have today. Again, it's not going to storm the entire time for this window. Right now, there are no warnings, but this is the time in the particular counties I really need you to start paying the most attention. It's an overall time window. Back here into southwest Tennessee, North Mississippi, where you already have a tornado watch, it's from now to mainly 7 o'clock or so. We'll watch to see if we need to extend it till 8, but I think by 7 o'clock, that final line is likely shifting on into North Alabama by that time. The heart of our viewing area here, down the Highway 43 corridor, Lewis County, Hohenwald over to Columbia, Waynesboro, Lawrenceburg, and surrounding smaller towns, down through the Shoals Metro, Russellville, Red Bay, over to Moulton. The time window where you need to pay attention starts now in the 12 o'clock hour, and then it goes until roughly about 8 p.m. tonight. And then the reason why we were ending the overall window is because here on the I-65 corridor, the threat goes all the way until 10 o'clock tonight, from east of Columbia down to Lewisburg, Chapel Hill, Pulaski, Athens, Decatur, Hartselle. I really think that time window, I kind of want you to start paying attention now just in case, but I really think by 2 o'clock you really need to hone in, make sure your last errands are done, make sure you're plugged in to a reliable source of weather information on the I-65 corridor by 2 o'clock, and then stay aware of things as the storms come through until about 10 o'clock. That's how the time window is going to work with that. Have a safety plan today. This is a rare high-risk situation that we don't see too often. We do see these from time to time. This is not something we've never seen before. I do want to make that very clear. We have these on occasion, and you know the days from back in history. I don't want to call out those dates because every tornado situation is different, and I don't want a date in the past to make your anxiety trigger because there was a big tornado that hit a town that day, and you think it automatically means that the same town's going to be hit today. That's not how that works. However, those other days in history with big tornadoes that's similar to today, that gives us the basic flavor of what today may be like. That's how those dates that have been talked about, that's how that works. Be where you feel safe. You're not needing to hunker down, but either be at the location of your safe place or be within a 10-minute drive of it from now until 10 o'clock tonight. A few violent, long-track tornadoes are possible this afternoon. We've already explained what that means. It's those high-end intensity type tornadoes and the ones that get down on the ground and stay down on the ground for dozens of miles, the big ones that do the major damage and cause the most problems. So keep in mind, there were several of those last night in Mississippi, in Arkansas, in Missouri. We already know of at least confirmed already 16 fatalities from the storms last night. That's not being said to scare you. That's being said to give you the reality of the situation. Our goal today is no loss of life and no critical injury. That's why we're being strong with the wording given the situation that we have. Take this seriously so we can meet that goal and all of us can be as safe as we possibly can. Please be weather aware this afternoon and this evening as the storms roll through. Tornado safety rules, the basic things you need to do, because I know a lot of people move here from time to time. You may not have dealt with a big tornado day. It's been a little while since we've had one in this part of North Alabama and southern Middle Tennessee and far northeast Mississippi. A basement, a storm shelter, or a certified safe room is the absolute safest place you could be. But in almost every situation you will encounter in your life, even on a big day today where we're talking about those upper end tornadoes, it's not a hopeless situation if you have to stay above ground. In almost every case you will encounter in your long 80, 90 plus year life, you don't have to be underground to survive a tornado. You do need to be in a site-built structure, though. Mobile homes are not going to cut it, especially on a day today where we may have some of these bigger tornadoes. I just want you to know that it's not hopeless today if you don't have a basement or an underground shelter. Don't think it's hopeless and then you tune out and you don't even try. There is hope if one of these big tornadoes is headed for you and you can get into a sturdy structure on the lowest floor near the center away from windows. That's what you do if you don't have a basement or a certified safe room. Small room, such as a hall, closet, bathroom, near the center of the building on the lowest floor as you can possibly get. Stay away from windows because flying debris hits that glass. The glass shatters, it becomes shrapnel in the air. Protect your head and neck from flying debris. Something as simple as a $10 bicycle helmet or the kids' football helmets or ballistics helmets, construction hard hats, motorcycle helmets around the house, even metal cooking pots if you have no other option. Protect your head and neck from flying debris. And it's not just the kids, it's everybody in the home. We've learned over the years in these big tornado situations from the treating ER doctors in the hospitals that most of the people that are seriously injured or killed on days like today, they're hurt from blunt force trauma to the head and neck region. So you drastically increase your chances of survival, even if you're hit by a big tornado, which the odds of it being you specifically are low, even on a big day. But it may be somebody in the area, but you drastically increase those odds of survival if you protect your head and neck from flying debris. If you're in vehicles, if you're in mobile homes, you have to leave and head for a sturdy structure. Today's going to be one of those days where they're not speeding up and you get 30 seconds of warning. These are these big supercells we will be able to track and you will be able to see them coming from a county away. We will be able to give 30, 45, maybe 60 minutes down the line of advance notice to let you know, hey, if you're in a mobile home, head to a shelter, head to a 24-hour gas station, head to a fast food place, head to a hotel, head to a sturdy site-built structure. That's how it's going to work today. If you take that seriously, if you do the right thing, you pay attention, we're all going to be okay today. There's no reason to fear this. I understand if you do. Storm anxiety is a big thing, and it's real, and your feelings are valid and real. But please know that it's going to be okay if you do the right thing. You have to stay informed today, though. Seconds go by like a heartbeat on a day today. Time moves fast. Storms move fast on a day like today. These storms will be moving 50, 60, 65 miles an hour. They don't go around curves. They don't stop for traffic lights or railroad crossings and wait on the train to go by. They just go straight through. They fly through in a heartbeat. If you get a warning, you don't have much time to react, so you have to pay attention. Best ways you can stay in touch with us today. Number one, you need a NOAA weather radio in your home. That's the baseline. That's the siren that's in your home. But I know some people don't have those, and a lot of stores are sold out. Free Tennessee Valley Weather app is how you can directly stay in touch with us. It has push notifications for those warnings. You get an interactive radar in there. You get the forecast. There's also a link to our live streaming video coverage so that when we're covering tornado warnings later today, if you have to shelter, you can watch that coverage from your safe space. If you're on a big screen TV or a computer right now, scan this QR code in the middle of the graphic that takes you right to the download link. If you're on a mobile device watching, go to your app store, the Apple App Store, Google Play, search for Tennessee Valley Weather. It's completely free and always will be. Make that download and you have all those features in the app. There's also another service that we have. It's a new thing that we have. Now, this is not run by us, and this one isn't completely free. This is Weather Call. This is another company that we partnered with that does this. They do charge a very small fee. It's a subscription of $15 a year. Just over $1 a month is what it averages out to. What it does, it calls your phone if you're in the warning polygon. If there's a tornado warning for some part of Lawrence County, Tennessee, for example, if the polygon includes Loretto up to Lawrenceburg, but it stops at Lawrenceburg and it doesn't go north of there, you get the call if you're in Loretto, Leoma, Lawrenceburg, but you're not bothered if you're in Summertown because you're not in danger up in Summertown in that situation. That's the beauty of that. That's the beauty of the app versus the weather radio, which is county-based. It doesn't bother you if you're safe. It only alerts you if you're in danger. It also includes these alerts for the tornado warning upgrades when there are confirmed tornadoes, like when there's a tornado emergency issued or something like that, or these extreme level severe thunderstorm warnings where there are 80-mile-per-hour winds or there are baseball hail. And they also give you special alerts for flash flood emergencies. Again, that's a $15 per year subscription to the company. That's not us charging you. That's the company charging you, and we just partner with them as a media partner to provide this service to you. The way to sign up is on our website, tnvalleyweather.com/store. You go to the website, tnvalleyweather.com, and then you hit the store button at the top and you see the download link on the right half of the website or in the tab if you're mobile, and this will call you and wake you up out of your sleep. And it's just another layer of protection because you need multiple ways to hear warnings. If you want to watch our coverage on the big screen, we have free smart TV apps. I know every now and then one of these platforms does an update that gives the app trouble. We do have apps that are free for Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV. If you run across an issue with one of those, just pull us up on YouTube on your TV, no matter what kind of TV you have. Search for Tennessee Valley Weather on any of these platforms, and you can watch our streaming coverage. And then take the app to your safe place and you can watch us that way. We are also live simulcasting on our radio partners in the event of tornado warnings. Those are the Big River media broadcast stations in Northwest Alabama that cover Northwest Alabama, Southern Middle Tennessee, Northeast Mississippi. Taylor, we'll get back to you in just a second. I see what's going on down there.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's Q107, WQLT, Kicks 96, and Fox Sports Short. Fox Sports Shoals, That's also the Big Country and the Big Oldie stations out of Wayne County, Tennessee. They've made us a promise, and we made them a promise that we will provide live simulcasting to tornado coverage to them, that they will broadcast on their radio platforms in the event that there are tornado warnings in the area. That's how you can get coverage from us if your power goes out, and that may be critical today. Here's the new Tornado Watch. It's a PDS, particularly dangerous situation tornado watch. What's the expiration, guys? 8 p.m. It's till 8 o'clock tonight for all of North Alabama. Tennessee's not included yet. I can promise you later this afternoon you will be in a tornado watch, and it might be one of these PDS. But for North Alabama, PDS tornado watch until 8 p.m. It's until 6 p.m. for Tishomingo County. There's still a tornado watch in Hardin County, Tennessee, till 1 o'clock. It will likely be reissued until the evening. You see that flashing red polygon? That's a tornado warning down in northeast Mississippi. We're going to step over for a couple minutes here with Taylor Plott in the Weather Center. He's going to talk about that, and then we'll scale back coverage until storms get a little closer to the area.
Yeah, that's right, Fred. I've been watching this for a while, and what I'm going to explain this. This is what we call radar meteorology, and I've been watching this for a while. And just a quick note on what this is this is not looking towards the lowest part of the storm. This is looking at what's called the mesocyclone, that is the lifeblood of the supercell. That's that rotating updraft. And right here where my cursor is about 10,000 feet up above the ground. And you see, well, I've been watching this for a while, this very well-defined area of circulation that high up in the storm. And what happens is, as these storms mature, that's one of the signs that they're starting to mature and organize, is you start to get that signature that high up in the storm. So I'm going to back things down. So this is now looking at 8,000 feet. You see how it's getting brighter. You're looking at about 6,500 feet, and the way that it's looking there, you're getting kind of jumbled between the red and the green. That's a really good signature of a very strong updraft right there in that storm. And then you keep going lower, and it's still there, and that's about 4,000 feet. And then this is about 3,000 feet, and then here's your lowest scan. And so that is why there's that tornado warning that is now in effect for Okolona, Verona, and up to, I believe, the Tupelo area as well. But that's just a little hint at we're starting to see those storms really start to blossom and take advantage of the wind shear. Is you go way up in that middle part of the storm, Fred, you got that mesocyclone that's starting to get going, it gets strong enough, and then eventually it starts making its way down to the surface, and you start getting that tornado potential. So with that, now that we have something that we can technically track a little bit, if you want to go back to links 2 real quick, I'll just do a quick little time of arrival, because this will eventually move into parts of northwestern Alabama. So if it continues on its way here, it's got about 80 miles or so to go before it gets towards the Cherokee area, which is close to where that arrow is located. It's about 2 o'clock. So give it another hour and a half, and this supercell will probably start to move into parts of northwestern Alabama here soon.
And Tish probably by 1:30.
Yeah, and Tishomingo probably by 1:30. So technically this does clip Itawamba County, but it doesn't have any part of or close to Tishomingo yet. The other thing we're watching is back to the west. Again, it's all kind of getting congealed a little bit, but there's still some rotation that's trying to get going near New Albany. There's an embedded supercell on that. It's not severe warned, but it is something that we're watching. So that's kind of what I had. That's what I've been watching for over the past several minutes, is that supercell, that mesocyclone is getting stronger, and it's working its way down to the ground. So we're probably going to start to see the beginnings of our tornado outbreak. It's probably starting right now, Fred.
Yeah, things are going to start wrapping up here really soon, back off to the southwest, and then it's going to spread from southwest to northeast into the area over the next few hours. And that's why we're telling you, even though there are no warnings right now, now is the time you need to start paying attention in Tishomingo County, Mississippi, in northwest Alabama, even though there are no warnings now. But again, Tishomingo County, Mississippi, PDS, particularly dangerous situation tornado watch till 6 o'clock this evening. All of northwest Alabama and North Alabama, PDS, particularly dangerous situation tornado watch until 8 p.m. Hardin County, Tennessee, still under a tornado watch until 1 p.m., but it will be extended later into the afternoon as storms get closer. No tornado watch for Middle Tennessee yet, but as storms get closer, there will be a tornado watch here, and there's a possibility it may be one of those PDS watches as well. So since we're close to 12:30 here, the next scheduled cut-in will be at 1 o'clock. Now that we have a tornado watch in the heart of the area, we're going to do live scheduled cut-ins at the top and bottom of every hour. They're going to be a lot shorter than this one here, just quick. Hey, we got a tornado watch. Here's a quick radar update. Remind you of the tornado watch. Stay tuned. That's how they're going to be through the afternoon. That's going to be every 30 minutes. We'll be back at 1 o'clock. Should warnings be issued in the area before that, we will be back sooner if needed. And if any county in the viewing area is issued a tornado warning today, we will be live nonstop until the danger is over. For the entire weather team, Ben Luna, Taylor Plott, Kelly Rawson, Chase Wilson, Sam Camp, I'm Fred Gossage, live from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee